All right, so we are out here in front of Georgetown University, and it got me thinking a lot lately, what is better to live in, Washington, D.C. or Northern Virginia? So in this video, we're gonna break down everything about D.C. and Northern Virginia and all the pros and cons of each. So let's get right into the video. All right, so let's talk about Washington, D.C. So I'm out here in Georgetown, right? And there is just so much going on. There's people walking around everywhere. There's college students to professionals, but we were just over by the Cherry Blossom Festival and there was all kinds of tourists. And I was like, man, this is absolutely beautiful. You have the White House to the Capitol building to the Lincoln Memorial and just all the monuments. And then of course, the Kennedy Center. So there's all kinds of arts and different things to do around here. And there's obviously an absolutely amazing job market when it comes to the federal contractors, to all the federal government jobs, to law jobs. So the job market here is absolutely killer. Now, the only thing that I would say would be a downside is obviously the income tax is going to be more expensive here in Washington, D.C. You're looking around 8 to 8.5% compared to Virginia, where you're about like 5 and 5.5%, depending on how much you make. Now, you also got to weigh some of the pros and cons of housing of each one's, right? Like obviously here in Washington, D.C., it's going to be a little bit more expensive. You're talking more of like condo living to row houses and not as much space, but Washington, D.C. has so much to offer. One other thing I want you to keep in mind is you're gonna have to Uber around a lot and definitely walk around a lot, and parking can be difficult. But I wanna talk to you guys a little bit about that more, and we can kind of dive deep into the pros and cons of living in each part of Washington, D.C. and Virginia. All right, so now we are on the Virginia side and we're heading over to Alexandria. And I have a lot of thoughts in my mind because we're stuck in traffic right now and the Cherry Blossom Festival is going on and there's just like people walking around everywhere. Now, a lot of this is gonna be personal preference, right? Like I'm one of those people that I like to just walk outside, get into my car and drive up the street and go where I want to go, or walk outside and just chill on my back deck. But some people, they want to be able to just walk out and walk right around the corner to the Starbucks or the local restaurant, or walk around to the museums and all that. So a lot of it is going to be personal preference. Now, if you're talking like Arlington or Alexandria, to me, that's going to be almost the same similar living as Washington, D.C., where you're not going to really have a vehicle or only be able to have one car or something like that. The areas in Northern Virginia, which I'll talk about in the next segment, would more be like Fairfax, Loudoun, or Prince William, which are the suburbs, but definitely keep that in mind if you're going to be thinking about living here in the DC area. What do you want? Do you want that city living where you can just walk around everywhere and jump on the metro, or do you want the suburban life living where you can just have that kind of like peace and quiet and just jump in your car and do what you want to do, but things are going to be a little bit further away? But let's talk about that more in our next segment when we talk about Northern Virginia. All right, so now we are back out here in Northern Virginia. Let's say the city life of Washington, D.C. is not for you, or even Arlington and Alexandria. Some areas I definitely would consider would be Gainesville and Haymarket, and that's where I'm at now. So you can see these townhouses behind me here. They go from anywhere from 5 to 600,000. But over there you have a brand new Lifetime Fitness, and then you also have brand new schools, and you have places like Jiffy Lube Live. Another area too that I mentioned before is Haymarket. There's beautiful gated communities in there like Dominion Valley, where houses go anywhere from 800,000 to $1 million, but you're gonna be living on a golf course community. But again, you're not gonna have a commuter train or anything like that. Other areas that a lot of my YouTube viewers love is Ashburn, Virginia. They have their own metro station and the prices there start around 800,000, but there's all kinds of things to do there, like One Loudoun, they have Top Golf, and there's all kinds of jobs around there as well. But probably the most popular areas for my YouTube viewers have been Herndon, Virginia, or maybe even Reston, Virginia. Prices start around there, around 600,000 to 700,000, but you get a little bit closer in to DC, being located there in the Fairfax County area. So you have all kinds of different options. Definitely hit me up. We can do a consultation. My team and I can talk about the area, help you with a home buying strategy and help you get the best deal here in Northern Virginia or Washington, D.C. But at the end of the day, it's all about personal preference and what type of home that you want. So guys, definitely subscribe to my channel and comment below. What do you guys think is better, living in Northern Virginia or Washington, D.C.? And as always, guys, I'll see you at the top or from the top.